Welcome everyone to my humble channel where it is the day before Christmas. So, Merry Christmas to everyone. Now, I had this idea because I was talking to my friend about what kind of water I drink, and I drink mostly distilled water and mineral water, not reverse osmosis, but distilled water. And so my friend said, "Isn't that dangerous?" And I said, "Well, why?" And he said, "Because doesn't it as you drink the water, it sort of demineralizes you. It's drawn to pulling minerals out of your body." And I was like, "I don't think so because I'm also drinking mineral water." And he was like, "No, no, no. Like, that's fine. But while you're drinking it, in that moment, you're being leached minerals." So I was like, that doesn't make any sense because I have absolutely no problem with my teeth. I have no problems with my magnesium potassium status. So I've been drinking this for almost 5 years. I don't think so. So I started doing the deep dive. And I want to talk more about what you guys should drink on low carb, ketogenic, and carnivore diets because a lot of you just are not drinking the right freaking anything. So let's talk about it. Right now, I want to talk about distilled water. So I found this article that was really great and it confirmed what I already knew. Let's go into it. So it says this is sort of like talking about the myths of distilled water. It says distilled water is an active absorber and absorbs carbon dioxide on contact with air, making it acidic. This is a myth. The acidity can leach minerals from your body. Okay. The fact is, distilled water is actually mildly acidic and does not leach minerals from the body. And there is no biological mechanisms to explain how this would happen. Pure H2O does have a weakly bond of CO2 form of carbonic acid. And this is the reason why rainwater is essentially distilled water. So rainwater has nothing in it. There's no minerals in it, right? So it's basically a distilled water, which is rainwater, which people use rainwater capturing systems to drink their water. And they're talking about other things that have different levels of pH, like a banana. So it has a higher pH than the distilled water, but you'd still eat the banana, for example. Our Coca-Cola has 100 times more acidity than a distilled water, but people still drink Coca-Cola. Let me get on to it. Now, it is devoid of minerals, right? So that's why it's very important that you guys, if you're doing a keto or carnivore diet, just in general, you need to have sodium, potassium, magnesium, magnesium, water, and sometimes calcium. And not calcium all the time, because if a lot of you who are adding too much calcium, like calcium supplementation can over exceeding your calcium demand, which can be dangerous inside the arteries. So be careful with that. So if you take, this is what's in spring water. Like, what's in water that's in spring water from the earth? Calcium, magnesium, sodium, potassium. So for me, let me get back over here. For me, this is what we do anyway on carnivore and ketogenic diets. We have to watch our sodium, potassium, magnesium status. Do not be afraid of the distilled water. What I've noticed when I start having problems with too much oxalic acid or oxalate crystals from spinach, stevia, I was doing a lot of this years ago and developed kidney crystals. The first thing that helped sort of cleanse the kidneys was distilled water, like nothing in it at all, just pure water pouring through the tubules of the liver and the kidneys. So I always suggest this for people who've got kidney pain, because that's what alleviated pain like this. I've had this happen to other clients. People ask me where I get my information from. Largely, it is my client base. There's nothing better than actually talking to real people. Now, so they're saying that distilled water is the same as rainwater because there ain't no minerals in it as it's falling down to the ground, unless we're putting some stuff in the clouds. But that's a whole nother type of mineral. That's a heavy mineral that's not good, or a metal. Do you need to drink distilled water? No. Do you have to be more careful drinking distilled water on a keto or carnivore diet because you are already in need of these electrolyte minerals? Yes. So if you are going to do a keto or carnivore protocol or low carb, high fat, and you're drinking distilled water, you best be on your avocado or potassium citrate or potassium bicarbonate if you can't tolerate citrate for the short term. Things like seafood and certain types of fish and certain types of shellfish will have more potassium in it. Things like pork or chicken, well, chicken stock, not broth. Or you could do not bone broth. I meant, although you could do chicken bone broth. To be honest, beef broth, bone broth has a little bit of the glutamate and the histamine. The histamine thing's so fascinating. I'm doing the hardcore deep dive on histamine. Guys, check out my video I did yesterday. I got to start linking my videos together. So that was a really good video on histamine and also on the thyroid. I was going through this thyroid symptoms too, and they were like, I missed a couple, which is clearly a sense of cold, thinning eyebrows, patchy hair missing on the legs, the heart palpitations, not being able to poop. But I missed a few, but I digress. Let's get back to the water. So I was living in Los Angeles, and I just couldn't stand the idea of drinking any more of the bottled water, or I didn't want tap water. When I was at the gym, I don't want that stuff in me. I didn't want it on my skin. The fluoride, all of this is giving a lot of people thyroid conditions. So the water becomes something to me that becomes more important than anything in the world. People are often asking me, what do I drink on a keto or carnivore diet? Can they drink their coffee? Can they drink the tea? Can they drink juices, smoothies, shakes? I'm like, what is wrong with water? People are still like forgetting that we're mammals. We need water. My horses, we went through a freeze, so it's still a freeze now. It's still in the almost single digits. Oh no, it's higher today. It's really beautiful outside though, right behind my camera. But the water kept freezing over. Like I'd knock out the ice and it'd start freezing again. So I had to get a thing to put in the water to heat up the water to keep it from freezing. But a horse can't go without water more than a day. It just can't. It has to have water. And it's kind of the same with us. Yet we're drinking soda, which has a bunch of air in it. I do drink Pellegrino from time to time, but that definitely has air in it. I'm not going to hydrate myself off of freaking Pellegrino. So I drink distilled water, and now I have well water, which it has been tested on my land to be very clean and pure of nastiness. So I have the best sources of water on my skin and in my body. It's something I've been looking for months and months and months after leaving Los Angeles, because I didn't necessarily have that in Texas. Although I did stay in some places that had well water, but this place is just amazing. The taste of this water is just unparalleled. It's just amazing. Now, some people decide they want a reverse osmosis system, which is fine. But you need to drink enough water, or else your electrolytes tank. Can I speak today? Electrolytes. Now, the distilled water, how this works, for a lot of people who don't understand how this works, let's look at the distiller I use. Well, I don't actually use this brand, but in my distiller is in my kitchen outside, and I'm inside, and I don't want to mess with it. So let's pull it up here. Bam! Okay, this is what mine looks like. Okay, same exact, freaking, they all look the same now. And you can see that here you can get them down to about $100, right? So essentially, it looks like a coffee maker, and there's a filter inside the nozzle or the drip point of the distiller. Basically, it's boiling the water, and the steam that's evaporating is dripping through the filter into this glass container, and that's what you're drinking. So when you empty, when you're done cooking your water and filling it up. It takes like 3 or 4 hours. Once you fill it up, it's amazing. It tastes so delicious. And you look inside of that, open up the black top, and you look inside and it's yellow. It's so gross what's left over. And you can see calcium deposits on the inside baking onto the walls. So you got to clean it and get that type of calcium mineral off. But this is what the machine looks like. And you can see the price there. It's not that big of a deal. And for those who are doing keto, carnivore, or low carb, high fat, we need sodium, potassium, magnesium anyway, right? Magnesium glycinate. You can do the Redmond's real salt, right? Here's the Redmond's real salt. That's what I love to use, or Himalayan or Celtic sea salt. On my food, sometimes I'll sprinkle a little bit in my water, just a little bit. I will use avocados for my potassium. Some people cannot tolerate avocado. And this is what's in water. This is what's in the earth. This is what's in spring water. And this is what is not in that. When you use a distiller, it's going to be pure water, just like rainwater. There's going to be nothing in it. And so we really need these minerals, right? Because we have leached our soil and we are depleted from a lot of the minerals. A lot of you guys are doing processed food or carbs, have a leaky gut. You have a hard time absorbing these minerals. So when you go down in carbohydrate, your body dumps a lot of water plus the minerals through the kidneys. So the demand of minerals is higher than someone eating like bread or carbs or crackers or cookies or whatever. So be very, very, very careful. This is why I think part of the reason why I think Paul Saladino went to fruit is because he wasn't balancing his electrolytes and probably was putting stress on his adrenals, not adapting on all that protein. Because a lot of those people who start doing the carnivore trend were doing high protein and not high fat, ketogenic carnivore, not fruit. Like that's illogical. You're not going to store glycogen in your muscle from fruit. You're just going to have available blood sugar to zing you up as you crash on it. The goal is to get into ketosis when you're doing a carnivore diet. And the goal is to get into ketosis on a keto diet where you're still eating a little bit of plants. But I really think that people should ride the line of carnivore, which means a little bit of plants one time a day, a little bit cruciferous, a little bit cooked if you got a thyroid problem. And I didn't talk about that last night too. I need to do a part 2. We'll do part 2. But this is what the distiller looks like. It's not that big of a deal. You can get them on Amazon. I know Amazon. The local stores do not sell this. Trust me, I live in a small town. Maybe Best Buy sells them. I don't think so. But pure water, we need to drink at least 2 liters a day. If you're working out, if you bring a big jug of water to the gym, you're already dehydrated. Like you need to start 45 minutes before, and you have to sip on water throughout the day, because if you chug it because you're super thirsty, the body can't deal with all the water coming in and you don't hydrate the cells very well. Drinking cold water, you become also dehydrated because the body has to heat the water up. It has to heat it up because it was cold before your body will absorb it. So in the summertime, be very careful to not dehydrate yourself on keto, on carnivore diets. Some water. I just wanted to talk about what I do. You guys don't have to do this, okay? Because I get all sources. I got natural spring water that my electrician brings me over. I have well water and I have distilled water. And we have to be very careful for that city water, because that's where they get you, right? The Oogie Boogie Man is in the water. Yes, that's why people get sick. Not from anything else. Maybe the air. Maybe people are getting sick from the air and they're getting sick from the water, but they ain't getting sick from the Oogie Boogie Man because you on somebody else. Don't believe that. They want you to believe that stuff, but I'm just saying. So I drink distilled water. That's the reason why I never got sick through the last 3 years. And that's what I believe. Y'all don't have to believe that. That's what I believe. Right? When I'm at the airport and I'm like, oh no, I'm not drinking from that faucet. That's where they get you. Yes, ma'am. Plus we have to think about the fluoride, the hormones that are the birth control pills that end up in your city water. You're wondering why so many women are estrogen dominant and men are estrogen dominant with high levels of dihydrotestosterone, and they're aromatizing. Men, be careful for your non-organic plants, your freaking cheeses with hormone injected like dairy, the cows, and exposure to plastics, and the water. So that's why I like to drink distilled water. Okay. And as I read, it does not leach minerals out of the body. But it doesn't have minerals, so you got to make sure you are on top of it. Now I got to go because there's so much to do on this beautiful freaking day. Let me show you guys. It's so divine. I got to get busy. I got to go and take my horse out for a nice little walk. Look how pretty that is. So pretty. It snowed and all that. I got the heat blasting on the inside. I need to wash my windows. Lord have mercy. Thank God the horses have something to stand under. And they all have their blankets on, but they're not here. And that's it. I'm out, guys. If you want to learn more, go to stephanieperson.com. If you want to book a consultation, I just opened up new dates. If you want to learn more, you can also join my course page where I cover all 3 diets: carbs, starches, more safe starches, keto with plants, keto omnivore, and carnivore with high fats, and maybe how to get a matrix in there so you can get that prebiotic fiber. And then that's it. Anything else? I'm starting to go more into exercise. I'm 55 going on 56. I really want to teach you guys about everything starts here. The endocrine system starts with the hypothalamus. Hypothalamus up here, y'all need to protect that. The way in the neocortex, you guys, it all starts here in the way that you think with synapses and patterns. We all live in the past. We need to live in the present moment and not in the past, because that's where it jacks you up. I know it's a survival mechanism to do the same thing over and over again and expect a different result, but we need to live in the present time. Yes, but that's a whole nother video. Energy at 55 going on 56, almost 16 years solid doing this diet. But if you do it wrong, like doing distilled water without making sure you're on top of your minerals while being on low carb, while dumping a lot of water via the kidneys, you can jack up your kidneys. Legit. It's not a good look. It is not a good look. So take care of yourself, guys. And I'm out. Energy. Oh yeah, my Instagram is Stephanie Ketogenic. Don't forget to hit the notification bell, share this content, thumbs up this shite so people can find my humble channel. And I'm out because I'm talking so fast I can't even talk. I'm about to go right thunder. If it wasn't so cold, I'd take you along with me. Peace.